on our laws is not is right. It is blemish.
When documents go to your office, that's why you must have qualified staff to read your documentation and abreast you with the issues appertaining in the document. So nobody received document on one day and passed it the next day. Those documents were in offices and people read them. Of course, if a financial document comes to your office and you're not a financial person and you don't have financial experts in your office, you will be behind time.
I will send it to you. If you don't discuss it, don't.
No, I will discuss it.
Prove me wrong. The communication from the presidency, the financial instrument is sent to the House of Representatives on the 21st and was passed on the 22nd. While we were in session, my office staff signed for my own 130 and the instrument was passed 145. They were passed in 15 minutes. I want to challenge this and see whether they come to your studio. Come there.
Wonder if you pray for your people and yourself. I see that most of you on internet, what we're doing Israel. Why you are not doing Israel? One, you don't have the opportunity. Other people has. What you need to do is to pray so you can have the opportunity. We're in Israel. You don't need to be angry. I'm here now. All you got to do, touch me. Because we can transfer. You understand? You touch me, it's so good to see you. God bless you.
That money is the money we stole. You don't know. I don't know the sources of Mr. Benedict money. So it's like that money. Nobody, Mr. Benedict, I'm not being able to convince later where he getting all the money from.
Anybody who studied any of the mental science manuals, which is the DSM, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, before 1974, homosexuality was listed as a mental illness along with necrophilia, zoophilia, and pedophilia. The decision in 1974 to delist it as a mental illness was not based on science. It was based on an opinion poll of only 6,000 people. So clearly, homosexuality is a form of madness and mental illness.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Frantz Fanonian dictum. We stipulate that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporombium and amounting to sadomasochisms. Acrimony and chaos in our community. And
the star of Africa, the greatest philosopher. Let's go.
There is a time in marriage when sex will be less important. Choose your partner wisely. Warring is a waste of time. Good and bad things happen in life. You just have to keep living and not stress over what you can't control. Once a person starts a sentence, with all due respect, they are about to disrespect you to another level. Treat everyone you come across with respect. You won't bury yourself when you die. The world is a jungle. You either fight and dominate or hide and evaporate.
The great Elizatu.
Have patience and wait for the things you want most. Don't run after it. If God wants you to have it, He will give it to you. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9, but so does 4 plus 5. The way you do things is not always the only way to do them. Respect other people's way of thinking. The hardest part of being close friends with people who cheat is that you have to keep telling lies to cover them. You that is asking for the names and videos of coronavirus patients, all the time you have gone to do abortion, did the state or government announce your name? Some women are unreasonable. You hear them saying, I can't sleep in the same bed where other women used to sleep. I can't use the same utensils she was using. What about his manhood? Why not refuse it too? Because it was used by other women. Lion is not the most dangerous creature on this earth. Samson killed lion and the woman killed Samson. Be careful. Since I was born and now I'm getting old, I have never dated a girl that ever asked me to buy her Bible or Quran before. All their national anthem is buy me phone, buy me recharge card, help me with cash. It's urgent. Respect the woman who cooks for you. Remember, poison is not expensive these days. My brother, you can still enjoy life without alcohol and weed. A man's finger is faster when removing a lady's pants, but when removing money from his pocket, you will think he has stroke. Thank you very much, my brother Rick.
Wake up from your sleep. My sister, too long, we've been in our sleep.
pleasant welcome to another interesting edition of the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We are here Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Today is Thursday. It's the last day for our appearance here on Sky Morning Live here on Sky. Welcome. This morning we're going to be speaking to the diaspora Liberian who just returned to the country for the inaugural program and maybe some other family activities and so on. We're talking about Ms. Mapu Tenekon. She is a psychologist by profession. She's going to be speaking to us on a variety of issues concerning some of the major things that we consider as societal movements, so that we can gauge her view on what are some of the approaches we can employ in ensuring that we get some of those things. For example, units pregnancy, high school dropout, early parenting, and all of that. So many other, besides the ones that we are experiencing in the country. Ms. Mapu Tenekon will be joining us at 8:05 at the BOE. For that, we're going to be telling you a bit about some new appointments and some other issues. In case of you as well, the public, we've not heard from you before about the first part appointments made by the president. In fact, additional appointments have been made, 10 altogether. He's doing it 5 at a time. So the first 5 is not due to the new members of the public to tell us what they think, and so combine the other 5 and then hear from the members of the public here to tell us exactly what to look up. The decision so far by President Joseph Duwanda. My name is Matthias, and I'm bringing you today's alternative day, January 2024. I'm here with Julius Akobe Boki. We're going to be right back after this break. That's right. Welcome back to the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We are here Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Today is Thursday, and it's the 25th day of January 2024. The month is gradually leaving us, so we must consider that the year very soon we'll start talking about 2025. That's how time flies. Time flies most times when you are busy doing something. You look at the time thinking that you still have a little time in your favor to complete what you started, but when you know it, before you know it, you realize that you were really, really late. Julius, good morning.
Good morning, Matthias, and good morning, everyone. We should not forget, today, one of our colleagues' birthday.
Yeah, Princess
Howard Tene.
Yeah, she
happy birthday to you. And celebrating. And even though you told me you're celebrating it on a low key, but we know we'll meet later.
I don't expect that, Princess is the CEO of all the KKLS here at Sky that do not social.
No, she said we're celebrating it on a low key. Today will be low key.
Wait.
But in subsequent days, maybe she'll celebrate. Yeah, happy birthday to you, Mrs. Princess Howard Tene, aka the coolest baby on Sky FM. Celebrating in grand style. If you taking on a low key, we're taking on a low key, but we will still call you. We will communicate with you. We'll ask you, maybe put some more pressure on you. I know Matthias and I, we got pressure. But Matthias said you are the president of the KKLS.
Yeah, let me say happy birthday to the CEO of the KKLS here at Sky that only drink water and juices at serious chilling programs.
So Marco Mopolu.
Yeah, Marco Mopolu. Marco is the Secretary General. And Mopolu is the spokesman for the KKLS here at Sky FM. So they do not drink. They do not.
They drink.
They drink water. They drink water. They drink juices. And most times they get to these areas, you wouldn't even see them shaking their bodies, and then they mock Matthias of not being able to dance, even though dance is defined as the movement of the body to a sound.
Is there a formula for dancing?
There's no formula for dancing. That's the thing the guys fail to realize.
But Matthias, before we go and ask you, this guy Elizato, he said something. I thought to ask you as a brother. When before you met my in-law now,
right?
Before you met my in-law,
right?
Because I know you're very committed, man. All your girlfriends in my meeting, when last they asked you to buy the Bible?
No, but Julius, I've told you before.
When did they ask you to buy them Quran or Bible?
Not
As a gift.
That I've never received such requests.
So that guy is
the
right.
only person that I've ever made a request to me since my existence, the only person I've ever made a request to me to buy them the Bible is my daughter. The only person.
When a man did not refer to them as daughter, he said your girlfriends.
I understand that. You just talk about girlfriends,
so
right?
only your daughter.
But of all the women in the world that I've interacted with, the only person that's ever requested for Bible gift is my daughter.
Okay. Caponia.
Yeah. She's the only person that's ever made such request. So
Alexander is right.
Alexander is right. I mean, we are.
A lot of things he says is right.
We are in a materialistic generation now where young people are mostly interested into the trending things and all of that. So it's going to be difficult for you to find a young girl coming around a boy. Why would she even ask for Bible? She could tell you that, well, I can read my Bible from my phone. I will download the app and read and read the Bible. So just give me the money for the other one. Instead of buying the Bible, give me the money. Let me add it up.
In fact, I get app on my phone.
I have the Bible app on my phone.
That's what I all do now. I mean, the app now is taking over.
Right.
Everybody using app for Bible. And I don't remember when last I took a Bible to church. One of the app on my phone. So
I'm trying to get rid of that the usage of that Bible on the phone. I'm trying to get rid of it. I think I need to get some more Bibles from. I mean, one.
You mean physical Bible?
Yeah.
No, I got Bible in my house, but going to church, I just rely on the one on my phone.
I mean, I prefer that one.
But you see pastors preaching and they're using Bibles. Using the electronic Bible, iPad and phones.
Well, so I have my reason.
Why you want to get rid of it?
Julius, for the 2 minutes, let's get to the main points here. All right, I'll get rid of that Bible. I mean,
why?
It's not necessary for me at this time. Let's move on to the issues and just invite you, members of the public. The first 5 persons that were appointed were Mr. Simon Kofi Woos. He's
National Security
Advisor to the President. Gregory Coleman, IG, Dexinate, Liberal National Police. Sam Gay, Inspector EPS, Director General. Sylvester Grisby, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. No, he's not Nathaniel, he's Sylvester.
That is still in position.
Well, people served in that position before. It was not made for Nathaniel.
So Magil took it.
Right? No, he's taking over from Mr. I think Reverend Small.
Reverend.
Yeah, right? From the Methodist. Yeah, so I mean, no, this one is different. So the 5th person is Boema Kamara, Minister of Finance. Then coming to the latest appointment. Yesterday's appointments. We have Ami Modad, Minister of Commerce, Dexinate.
Yeah.
A.B. Kroma, Ibrahim Kroma, Director of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. Julius, in Liberia here, most of the news, when you hear the gossip in the street, if you must disagree, do so mildly. Don't put your whole energy into disagreeing, because most of the things that will be said in the public will come to light. We've heard repeatedly that A.B. Kroma would not have been 102 again, but instead he would have been sent to the Drug Enforcement Agency, and exactly that's where he's sent.
In fact, we heard that A.B. said that he accepted Chris Masakwe as Deputy for Operation.
Yeah,
I mean Gregory has so he could not go back to serve again the second time to be deputy. So
right,
and all those, in fact, Front Page Africa study as well.
Right. So we have Mr. Jonathan. This name is not familiar to me. Jonathan Masakwe, Minister of Justice.
Jim Masakwe.
This
I've been hearing that name, but I've not met him.
Before. Sarah Beslow Yanti. Yes, I've had
Foreign Affairs.
Yes, I've had an interview with her. I had an interview with her at Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation.
We need to get her
Sarah
and maybe
Beslow
some of our
Yanti.
team to come and clarify. There's something about scrutinizing her credentials.
Yeah, Martin Colley is on that.
Martin Colley and other people, even people folks from the Unity Party. What's happening now? Some of them even trying to question the credential of Jonathan Masakwe as
good.
Minister of Justice. In fact, some of them are saying that the mayor is not a proper UP partisan. So I don't know where it comes from. But as the day go by, we'll try to see what to do. But
Julius,
Sarah is because you can't tell me she's not. She doesn't possess those credentials, and she worked with the UN for those level of years. Big position. But let's wait and see.
There's something I just want to disagree with you on quickly. It's the issue of you even elevating arguments from people out there that because Mr. Jonathan Masakwe is not a full-fledged UP member. I don't think the people, that argument, Julius, should not be elevated on our platforms. We are not
But that's what it's saying.
No,
So
but I mean, we should not. For
saying.
me personally, I wouldn't elevate that, because it would be a, you know, an act of someone's inability to understand when someone speaks. That's the only way they will come out to say such a thing. You are working in you want to enter a government and think maybe from this unitary party and think. You listen to your standard bearer repeatedly saying that it's going to be a government of inclusion. Why must you come now and question people's partisanship for, you know, before they are because they are appointed in government? I mean, I don't think that should be something we should be elevating. If the issue of credential scrutiny, for me, that's a good one. Everyone should be able to provide information concerning their credentials and, you know, where they gather these things from. People lie here. They say Mountain Calling and his team, they made somebody was appointed as LBDR and that person had to resign. All right. So this is a serious one. So if Sarah Beslow Yanti does not have the credentials, we're gonna get more details at the Senate during the confirmation hearing. So if she does not have the credentials, she should not be accepted.
And it's good that she go on the launch committee.
Right. So Dobo Jala, for me, of the second appointment, there is an injury among these people. I call him an injury because he's demonstrated that over the years. Dobo Jala. Sending Dobo Jala at the Liberia Revenue Authority, I'm very sure the UP administration means serious business. It wants to generate more money. This is an honest man. He was at the PPCC. He became an idol of integrity, an icon. Integrity.
He won on the wall.
Yes, he's an integrity
from I think accountability.
Yes, so. He's an accountability idol. He left from PPCC and went to Carter Center. All right, he left from Carter Center. You know, I mean, it is where he is currently. I think when he got this appointment, and so he's an integrity icon, and many people will vouch for him. In terms of his credential, in fact, his accountability, his ability to stand up for something, and so. But Julius, I just want to say something to Mr. Gregory Coleman. The police is divided. All right, there's a serious division in the police. I'm very sure Mr. Gregory Coleman knows about it. Remember, some time ago, Patrick Sudu raised a concern that people were planting cameras in his office and monitoring him, and think he accused folks believed to be supporters of Gregory Coleman.
You mean folks within the LMP?
Yeah,
some of his deputies.
That's what I'm saying. So those ones are loyal to Gregory Coleman. So they are insiders operating, you know, for Gregory Coleman. So Gregory Coleman, you're a big brother, you're a professional man. I think you just got another master's again. Your education, you know, should speak for you out there. You should be able to go across the aisle and find other people from other areas, promote them. Don't just promote people within your circle, people who are loyal to you. Make sure there should be unity, because in the absence of unity at the Liberal National Police, it's going to be difficult for us to combat crimes, because people are going to be protecting their own. We want to have an RG at the LMP that will be able to unite the police, that will be able to promote people. There should be some young people giving opportunities as well. Another thing I'm also gathering, and I'm still this is something that we're waiting for Gregory to take over. By the time he says that we're going to confront him with these questions, is that there are people within the police right now that just graduated a couple of months back. They are getting more money than other people who have been there for many, many years. For 10, 15 years, they serve the police. Some of these young people who just got in, they are making more money.
Maybe because of qualification.
No, I mean, I don't think so.
Maybe,
all right.
Maybe they are more educated.
I don't think it's on the basis of education. It's basically on the basis of favoritism from the information we've gathered.
From whom?
All right, from folks within. All right, recommendation from maybe Mr. Sudu and so on and so. But these are things that we must look at if we must, have good security system. And Boakai taking keen interest in appointing the first 3 appointments, focusing on the security. I think he's concerned about the security sector of this country. Now he's completed that security sector by thereby bringing in the justice minister, who's going to be presiding over the joint.
We've not heard about the LIS yet.
No, the immigration service, no, not yet. But Julius, with 10 minutes to 8 o'clock, let's engage the public, except you have something else to add up.
No.
Let's hear from the public and, get their views on these appointments so far. And got us on.
So we will give you 10 minutes to call us and tell us what do you make of the 10 appointments from the president of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Newman Boakai so far. So the next 10 minutes we can take your calls Call us on 077-777-107 or 077-221-223. The numbers you can call us on to participate this morning. That's 077-777-107, 077-221-223. If you're in a diaspora, you can call us on our WhatsApp number, +231-777-221-223. Good morning.
Good morning, Big Brother Julius.
Good morning.
Good morning to my tax Dini.
Is it Momo Foley from Samalema Village?
Thank you for the recognition. My name is Momo Foley, and I call you from Dogo Community, Samalema Village.
Momo Foley, we don't no much time. 30 seconds. What do you make of the appointment so far?
Thank you. I have 3 interests in the appointment of the president.
30 seconds. No joke.
Thank you. The director of GA and the director of the police and Double Jala. I think that the appointment mean well for the Liberian people because the country now have filled with a lot of hypocrisy. When you come to the job issue, I think A.B. Kroma is the rightful person that Joseph Human Burger have appointed have no mistake. And you go to the police, Congress Kroma has a lot of work there doing Manasera administration.
Okay.
I observed that he is the rightful choice for that era. Double Jala, like you said, he served as one of the best men.
All right, thank you. Thank you. You say you're the best. Let's go line 2. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's come here. 30 seconds. What do you make of the president 10 appointments so far?
Yeah, the appointments are not bad, but what Martin Cool, the young man is doing for the research of higher quality officers.
It's Martin Colley.
Yeah, Martin Colley. He's doing fine research because the question on a spoon last night, and he's so fine with that. And those who want to get in position, you should get to school and learn. If you are well learned, that is good for you, but you are working without yourself, take other degrees. So thank you very much.
Okay, so let's wait and see what will Madam Sarah Beslo Yanti say respond to that. Good morning, line 1.
Good morning to you, Judah, and good morning to you, Mataya Lazendi.
Good morning, good morning. What's your name? What do you join us from?
My name is George Besaville. I'm joining this conversation from the community.
George, what do you make of the president's 10 first appointments?
I mean, President Baka for all of these nominations. And all of them, for us individuals, cannot say it is good because it levels the Liberian who is going to do the confirmation. So if the Senate have done with the confirmation, definitely we have to know that they are qualified to work in the interest of Liberian people. But now we have to appreciate the president for all of these carry on.
Okay. Thank you very much. 30 seconds each. 077-777-107, 077-221-223. For those of you in out of the country, we want to say that way. In the diaspora, you want to call us. The WhatsApp number is active. It's +231-777-221-223.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Sam Gege, and I'm joining you from my residence in District Number 9.
Sam, let's hear you, brother.
Yeah, so thank you. I think the president or the president appointments or nominees are good, especially so to pick up Double Jala, A.B. Kroma, and Gregory Como. These are individuals that I have explicit confidence in because I've seen them work over the years and they have done well, especially A.B. Kroma. I'm really satisfied with him going to that DEA place. Okay. Because that DEA place is a very, very serious problem that Liberians are faced with. So A.B. Kroma going over there, when I heard the man name, I said, Jesus, you can answer prayer.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so very much.
Line 2, good morning. Okay, that line's off. 077-777-107, 077-221-223. If you're watching out of the country, you can call us on the WhatsApp numbers or number, if you will, 077-231-777-221-223. What do you make of the president's first 10 appointments so far? The likes of Gregory Como, A.B. Kroma, Samuel Kofi Woods, Double Jala, and the likes. What do you make of them? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm better, my dear friend. Brother, what's your name?
Robert Nwakolo, and I call you from District 17.
Robert Nwakolo, let's hear you, brother.
Thank you. The names that we are hearing, they are all names that I think we are close with. We know them. Even in the work in the past, and sometimes we see it. But you see, one thing about me, I'm not saying everybody. Look, to impress, first impression, do not just depend on it. When you see a young girl or you see the first time you meet a girl, when you get around a girl, you know what you do? You want to be good so that the girl say, yeah, this man is good man. But later on, you can change the scheme. So when the needs are coming up.
What are you insinuating now?
Okay. The people that are coming out, the people that are good, they are good. Look, let them take the place, let them get them first, we see how they will work. We are not seeing them, we are not here about them before. We heard people need. But later on, when they came, they made things to get worse for us. We can only pray so that when they come, they should not change. That's my prayer.
Okay.
I'm not going to praise them, oh, they are dead, but I can only pray so that when they come there, they must do the right thing for the Liberian people. That's what I'm saying.
Thank
you.
See,
because if we just keep praising, we don't know what they're going to do when they come there.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. That's why he says we should not keep praising them. Let's wait and see when they come what they can do. But the names we are hearing are names that work in previous government. So I don't know how you want to know them again. But I mean, you made it clear that first impression. So they came first. Maybe they were trying to impress the Liberian people. And now let's give them a second chance to see what would they do. But that's your own say. But let's go to this line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my dear friend and brother. What's your name?
I'm Oliver T. Type from Broadway, Yellow Flower Community.
Let's hear you.
Yes. For the appointment from the president, Sheikh Mabaka, for every implement to DA, he am certified at least. We mean well for the Latvian people and also and the IG for now that in the point, I'm certified. I know that he will double his effort for the work for the Latvian people and then to do good things for the Latvian people. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Another caller. Let's try to see another caller here. 0777 107 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on this morning to participate here on the show. We are asking you this morning, we got 2 minutes to wrap to join the VOA to bring you 5 minutes of news from the VOA. And after that, we'll be having our guest at 8:05. She's a diaspora Liberian. And of course, Mapu Colley, she will be here to tell us. We got other things to discuss about teen apprenticeship and some societal ills. Let's go to the line, talk to the next caller. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, final caller.
Yes, I'm scared.
Is that Keta from the borough of Nickeltown?
No, you call where now?
Oh, you call where now, man? You move again?
No. It's so.
But Keta, you have to check yourself small. Your line is coming in broken, my man.
Yes, I'm already.
Okay, let's hear you. 30 seconds. The president first 10 appointments. What do you make of them?
Where everything is where. When they do, the complaint is too soon. Let us see how the people start their work.
The complaint is what?
It's too soon for the opposition. Because for furthermore, if you appoint somebody, let us see the work of the person. Then that is when you start complaining. Now where our past leadership were in power, at the end of the day, they blunder and will start complaining. So let us see how the other people hold a kilo.
But these same people working in government before, and we scrutinize their performances. So I mean, you can do that now.
They work in government, we know this, but they have the performance at the past government. We are in that work in the government, they perform well. So
okay, so it is now clear that Keto is living in Kowe now, the borough again.
Yeah.
So that's how we call it Keto from Kowe. Thank you very much. So that's our last caller there on this segment. We will soon join the VOA to bring you. Let me see what I did last caller. This guy on the line, that thing quickly. Good morning, 20 seconds. What's your name?
Good morning, Julia.
Yeah, quickly. I want to join the VOA quickly.
This is Shaq. We are from Brussels.
Shaq, we are long time. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Julius. I want to commend the president for the level of first nomination to the Liberian Senate. I believe those names are real names. I believe those names are credible people who can produce for the Liberian people.
Okay.
Hats up to Unity Party, and on we go.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shakuya. We need to join the VOA now to bring you 5 minutes of news. When we come back, trust me, we'll have our guests right in the School's studio.
It is evident that the Russians are playing with the lives of Ukrainian prisoners, with the feelings of their families, and with the emotions of our society. It is necessary to establish all clear facts to the extent possible, considering that the plane crash occurred on Russian territory beyond our control. Russian officials accused Ukraine of deliberately shooting down the military transport and said it was carrying Ukrainian prisoners of war. Rick Pantaleo, VOA News.
Fighting intensified Wednesday in Gaza's Khan Yunis, the focus of Israel's war against U.S.-designated terrorist group Hamas. The United Nations said 9 people were killed in tank shelling at one of its shelters, sparking international condemnation. The UN slammed a blatant disregard for the rules of war, while the United States deplored the attack at the shelter housing displaced Palestinians in southern Gaza's biggest city. It came after the Israeli army said it had encircled Khan Yunis, the birthplace of Hamas's Gaza chief, accused of being the mastermind of the October 7th attacks that sparked the war. Join host Michael Lippin for VOA's Flashpoint Iran podcast every Wednesday, featuring news and analysis about the Islamic Republic's suppression of domestic dissent, sensitive nuclear activities, as well as involvement in regional and international conflicts and tensions. He'll bring you compelling conversations with newsmakers, researchers, and activists. This is VOA News. A handful of Canadian hockey players have taken leaves of absence from their current clubs as they face possible criminal charges. AP correspondent Gethin Coolbob has that story.
5 players from Canada's 2018 World Junior team have taken a leave of absence from their current clubs following a report that 5 members of that team have been asked to surrender to police to face sexual assault charges. Michael McLeod and Cal Foote of the New Jersey Devils, Carter Hart of the Philadelphia Flyers, Dylan Dubé of the Calgary Flames, and former NHL player Alex Formenton have all recently been granted leave. London, Ontario police launched an investigation in 2022 after Hockey Canada settled a lawsuit with a woman who said she was sexually assaulted by members of that team at a gala. I'm Gethin Coolbob.
Alex Formenton is now with the Swiss professional hockey club Ambri Piotta. The stock market value for U.S. tech giant Microsoft crossed the $3 trillion milestone for the first time on Wednesday, retaining its place as the world's second most valuable company, just behind Apple. Here's a Reuters correspondent, Gabe Singer.
The two companies have been vying for the most capitalized stock on Wall Street since the start of the year, with Microsoft briefly dethroning the iPhone maker earlier this month. Backed by its investment in ChatGPT maker OpenAI, Microsoft is widely seen as a frontrunner in the race for market dominance and the rollout of generative artificial intelligence. Its competitors on that front include other tech heavyweights like Google owner Alphabet and Facebook owner Meta. Using OpenAI's technology, Microsoft has rolled out newer versions of its flagship software, as well as its Bing search engine, which is expected to better compete with Google.
That was Reuters correspondent Gabe Singer. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration on Wednesday tightened pressure on aviation giant Boeing by barring the troubled company from expanding production of its best-selling 737 MAX planes following unacceptable quality issues. Reuters correspondent Julian Satterwhite explains.
U.S. watchdogs say Boeing's MAX 9 jets can fly again. The Federal Aviation Administration lifted a grounding order late Wednesday. The jets had been out of service following the mid-air blowout of a big panel on one operated by Alaska Airlines. Now the FAA says the aircraft can fly again once inspections are completed. That's a big relief to Alaskan and United, the type's 2 main operators. They've been forced to cancel thousands of flights. The ruling is a big blow for Boeing, which had wanted to boost output to close the gap with European rival Airbus.
That was Reuters correspondent Julian Satterwhite. I'm Richard Green for VOA News.
Mama and Grandma told me one day, when you baby already,
Chimapo, why about to babers? All the organization, all the people, the NGO, all of them here, UNICEF, everybody here, they helping us. But we gotta help ourselves. 3 years now, I've been sitting there, I can't go to school. My brother in the bush, they're shooting, go, I know who is shooting. Whether that enemy or that brother, I don't know. So I beg you, if I don't want to go water today, because today I don't go water, tomorrow I fire go, tomorrow I don't fire go, then not tomorrow I better ball. If I don't better ball, then I blast the bed. Mama want to go to school, I tie her in plastic bag. Papa want to go to school, I tie her in plastic bag. Yeah. When I lay my book, I will help you, Mama. Oh. When I go to school, I will help you, Papa. Oh. Papa want to go to school. Papa want to go to school, I'll tie outside in plastic bag. Yeah. When I see my friends, I can be so jealous. Look at that book bag. Look at that uniform. Mama want to go to school. I tie outside in fire go. Look at my baby sister there. All day on the street, I don't know, they're carrying lipo or something lost for them. They all need to go to school. Mama want to go to school, I tie outside in plastic bag. Yeah. Papa want to go to school, I tie her shooting gun all day long. Mama, oh, the outside wonder, oh, my, oh. Daddy. I don't want to go to school. Papa want to go to school. Attires are in fire go. Papa send me to school. Mama send me to school. Suya mama na ya Japan wa. Sana la kare pe awo ya denu. Want to go to school. Look at my friend. Put on your uniform. Fine, book bag. Mama want to go to school. I die sitting down all day. When I lay my book, I will help you, yeah. Papa. I want to go to school. Suya maro le Japan wa. Sana la kare pe awoya. When I lay my book, I will do well for you. Mama sent me to school, yeah.
And that's right. That's the best gift any parent can give to a child. Education. Give the child education so that you may be able to, you can be able to benefit, to reap from the fruit of your labor. But it's education, it covers different areas. Maybe you want to send the child to go to get a degree, or maybe the child doesn't want to go to classroom. Some other families, they encourage too much trade. maybe mechanic or so on, but just make sure that that child has something in their head that they can live with, because this world is something that we all have to work and contribute towards making our families better. Like I said, our guest this morning at 8 o'clock is Madam Mapu Nangbe, Mapu Tene Kali Nangbe. She's holds a bachelor in computer science and psychology. She has a master's in industrial and organizational psychology. She's a doctorate candidate in industrial and organizational psychology. She's a mother of 2 children, John and Tayana Nangbe, and worked for 20 years in the mental health sector. She's currently employed as the residential director with a nonprofit organization in the United States, working in the financial sector as a senior tax analyst for H&R Block for close to 20 years, accepted in the National Honors Society and University of Phoenix, and the Worldwide Women Association head elder in Lincoln SDA Church. So yes, that's our guest. She's going to be here this morning talking about some issues. We'll be right back after this break.
Mama told me one day, when you baby holiday, she my poor one hour back to Vegas. All the organization, all the people, the people, the USA, everybody here, they hit me up. But we can help ourselves. 3 years now, I've been sitting there, I can't go to school. My brother in the bush, I shooting, go, I know who is shooting. Whether I enemy or I brother, I don't know. So I bet you, I don't want to go what to do. Because today I don't go water, tomorrow I'm fire go. Tomorrow I'm fire go. Then I pass the bed. Mama want to go to school, and I am him not safe.
That's right. You have to get rid of the street peddling and focus on your school. So we're going to go for a break shortly, where we're going to be switching power from one source to another while we await the arrival of our guest. This is Sky
all the time you have gone to do abortion, did the state or government announce your name?
Elizato.
Some women are unreasonable. You hear them saying, I can't sleep in the same bed where other women used to sleep. I can't use the same utensils she was using. What about his manhood? Why not refuse it too? Because it was used by other women.
Elizato.
Lion is not the most dangerous creature on this earth. Samson killed lion and the woman killed Samson. Be careful.
Exactly.
Since I was born,
and I couldn't agree more with Exacto, because if lion is considered as the most dangerous animal, and then you have a woman killing the man that killed the lion, well, who's more dangerous then? Welcome to the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We had to switch power from one source to another. Our guest isn't in studio yet, but we're going to keep engaging your views on the appointments. And I know a lot of you wanted to participate. The president. So maybe we need to add something about the speaker's appointment, because the speaker too made some appointments to some committee, 3 statutory committees, 3 individuals appointed to those committees. We have Rules and Order Committee. Okay, what is the first one? So first, let's go back to the president's appointment. Yeah. So the president appointed the first 5 persons that the president appointed are Councillor Simon Kofi Woos, security advisor to the president. Second, we have Sam Gay, Mr. Sam Gay, Director General, Executive Director or Director General of the Executive Protective Service, EPS. All right. We also have Mr. Gregory Coleman, IG Dexinit, Liberia National Police, and Boma Kamara, Finance Minister. Then who's the 5th person? Okay, I mentioned Gregory. No, that the first appointment is Double Jara is not part of them. All right, yeah, Grisby, Sylvester Grisby, and that is the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. 5 names. Mentioned Kofi Woos as well, so 5 person. The second 5 we have all right, we have yes, I think the madam is almost here. So the last, okay, all right, she's almost around here. So the other 5, let me go to them quickly. The other 5 appointments that we have: Amin Mudad, Commerce Minister; A.B. Krumah, Director of the LDEA; Jonathan Masakwe, Minister of Justice; Sarah Beslow Yanti, Minister of Foreign Affairs; Double Jala, Commissioner of the Liberia Revenue Authority. Where was I looking at this appointment from the speaker? So the speaker made some appointments at the House. All right, so let's get the 3 committees that he appointed. Rules and Order Committee is going to be chaired by Honorable Marvin Cole, co-chaired by Honorable Abu Kamara of District. Marvin Cole is from Bon County. Abu Kamara is from District 15, Montserrat County. So Foreign Affairs Committee, Honorable Ta Z Wongbe, and it's going to be co-chaired by Honorable Richard Nangbe Kong. Ta Wongbe is from Nimba. Richard Kong is from Montserrat. Executive Committee, chaired by Emmanuel Dan. Honorable Emmanuel Dan is District 7 representative, and is going to be co-chaired by Honorable Simon Enders. So those are the 3 appointments so far made by the speaker at the moment. So with the 10 appointments made by the president and thing, these appointments are important for us to look at them, and we gauge your views on what to make of the appointments made so far. So let's hear you. Call us on those numbers: 0777. We might just have 30 minutes conversation with our guest. Madam Mapu Tene Koli Nangbe. Call us on those numbers: 0777 107, 0777 107, 0777 221 223. Are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. Call us. Let's have a conversation. What do you make of the appointments? And like I mentioned, I think this was a public discussion already, where people were expecting Ibrahim Krumah to go to the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. We hope that he wouldn't let the people down. People who believe in him, people who see him as the right person for that area, because you see the issue of drug in the country is really high. All right, drug abuse, the increase of drug abuse in our society today is so high that that it's difficult for you to go into any community at the moment without seeing some kind of makeshift structure in one corner where young people go and hide there to take in some other some substances, whether it is marijuana, whether it is kush, whether it is any other thing pertaining to drugs. They go in those areas and hide themselves. So it's important that we find someone, we have someone at that area that will be able to weed out these unscrupulous individuals trading drugs to the children, to our young people in the various communities. Well, the issue of revenue generation with Mr. Dobo Jala giving his record in terms of integrity, he also came from the civil society angle, and going to the PPCC, coming to Carter Center, and his degree of integrity, as people consider him in the society. He's an integrity icon, going at the Liberia Revenue Authority. I'm very sure President Boakai, maybe he's taking this decision. He wants to succeed, and every president, anyone that comes into government, you want to succeed. He wants to succeed. Maybe that's why he's finding people that he thinks will work in line with his agenda. And Dobo Jala is that man. All right, he's that old man for that position. And many people believe in him. Many people think that he's going to do well. He's certainly going to deliver, according to some of the narratives we're seeing on social media, and people are judging from his past record. And something else somebody was saying, I remember the last edition of 50/50 we had Mr. Kiatama, and some folks believe that the fact that Mr. Boakai is appointing people who worked in the Sali's administration, it means that he's walking in Sali's shadow. I don't know, the fallacy of reasoning that these people subscribe to, but I see it differently from a different angle, because you see, just as Julia and I are here, we can decide to leave this place today and go to another radio station to work. It's based on what we are capable of doing. In fact, this is not the first radio station some of us have worked with. We worked with several other stations. So does it mean that because you heard me on one station some years back, it means that my navel string is tied to that particular station? I can now move to go somewhere else to explore opportunities and see whether I can through that I can reach my full potential. I'm saying that to mean that the President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came in this country. She became president for 12 years. She was looking for qualified Liberians to work with her, and those people that worked with her, they were available and things. So that she has her own, form her own administrative style. All right. And as an administrator, she hired those people that she could hire. They work at her will and pleasure. They deliver according to the way they could deliver at the will and pleasure of the president. So whether the government was three times corrupt than other governments, well, at the end of the day, they still delivered. They did what they could do. Mr. Boakai, on the other hand, all right. On the other hand, Mr. Boakai is a president now. Okay, he's also a new manager. All right, he's a different manager altogether. So he himself, he wants to do something differently. So because going back to bring some of these people that work with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf does not suggest that they are going to be working according to the will. They're going to be working to the will and pleasure of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, but rather they'll be working at the will and pleasure of Joseph Jouma Boakai, who is the new manager of the state of affairs of the country. His managerial style, may differ from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's managerial style. So maybe the way he would take action against some of his people that may do something against the Liberian people, against the mandate, against his agenda, his reaction may be different, and his disciplinary measures put in place could be different. And this could lead to much more delivery, much more production, much more, output in terms of work by the people. All right. So, let's watch. As these people go for confirmation hearings, they should come with the right credentials. They should come with integrity. If they pass through the confirmation hearing, they take their various offices to work and think they get to work, then I think it's when now let's start asking them whether this person is delivering or two. When the person L, we raise the issues and see whether he's going to be a president that's going to keep one person at a particular position for 6 whole years without even rotating them, or maybe reshuffling and bringing in different people. We're going to go for a break. I'm told that our guest is somewhere around. We're going to take a break, and we come back. We usher in our guest. This is Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We'll be here. We're here Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. And I'm here with, my name is Matthias Labini. I'm here with my colleague Julius Akobwe Boki. We're going to go for this break, and we come back. We're going to usher in our guest in the studio this morning. And this is Sky Morning Live. So like I said, our guest this morning is a psychologist. Let me just quickly mention that Mapu Nangbe holds a bachelor in computer science and psychology. She has a master's in industrial and in organizational psychology. She's a doctoral candidate in industrial and organizational psychology. And of course, she's a mother of two, a boy, a guy. Yeah, a guy and a man and a lady, right? She has worked for 20 years in the mental health sector. She's currently employed as a residential director with a nonprofit organization in the United States, working in the financial sector as a senior tax analyst for H&R Block for close to 20 years. All right, so we're going to take this break. When we come back, we'll usher in Madam Mapu Tene Koli Nangbe on the show. And that's right. Welcome back to the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We are here Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. At this time is exactly 8:30. We're going to have a conversation now with our guest this morning. The lateness is not actually her fault. I must, say this on her behalf, because welcome to Liberia. I mean, and that's what I've been saying to her since morning. Madam Mapu Tene Koli Nangbe is a seasoned psychologist, and I hope that she can come back to Liberia and fill a particular certain gaps in certain areas. But let's start the conversation. Welcome, madam. Welcome to Sky Morning Live, and welcome to Liberia.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I appreciate the fact that Sky has me on,
right.
And I do hope that what we do discuss today will be of benefit to our nation and our generation to come. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So since we don't have much time, let's look at, because we guess we'll send you like 3 thematic areas that we're going to be looking at this morning in the conversation. Things that have become norms that are causing nuisance for the society. What are they? If you're aware of them, and how can we weed them out? So as a mother, as a psychologist, as a social worker, though you don't base here in Liberia, but you've been here for a few days now, you have family members, you interact with them, you read the dailies here. What are some of those things that have become norms that are causing problems for our society?
Well, Liberia is a very unique country. We take pride in who we are and where we come from. And it is unfortunate that we find ourselves in such opposition. But we have a generation that we are morally and legally and spiritually obligated to be able to help to succeed in the future. So some of the things, just quite a few things that I've been able to notice while being abroad and coming into the country. One of them that we talked about a lot is corruption, vast corruption within the country, gender inequality, impunities where people are not held accountable for their actions. We also have environmental degradation. When you drive on the streets, when in the country, you get to see what's going on. And the biggest and foremost that we have is substance abuse. Within our country, with our youth, with our young generation, the people that we hope that we can pass the baton on to when we move. So we have a lot of work here to do, but it is not going to be easy, but it is something that can be done.
Identifying the problem, in any, social work is a very important thing. Once you identify the problem, very sure the society, the solution will come inside. Now, given what you've seen, what you've noticed, that these maintenances have become, norms in our society, what can we do? What approach can we employ to ensure that we get rid of them? If not getting rid of them, but minimize them?
Well, I think first and foremost, acceptance. We have to take acceptance for the things that have happened. And I think once we recognize that we are at fault for what has happened within our country, we will be able to make a difference. And the other thing that I did not mention.
Yeah, just a moment, talking about acceptance. Because when there's a report of corruption in an institution, meaning there's a doer, they are facilitators. So who should accept? Is it the people that did the act, or the institution accepting that, yes, these people are corrupt, or the society saying that, yes, our people are corrupt? Who should first lead the charge of acceptance, and how does that help us in weeding out corruption or these nuances that you mentioned?
Okay. If you don't accept that you have committed wrong, you wouldn't be able to solve that issue. There are things that people do, and if they are not corrected, it becomes an acceptable behavior, because we condone them. But if we do accept that someone have committed a crime, and we take actions towards that, and that's where impunity come in, and then we will be able to have accountability. But if you don't accept it and you see it, we're talking about norms right now, and you see it as a norm, like this is what everybody is doing. So what's the big deal when we're doing that? Then we have a problem there. So in order for you to solve a problem, you got to recognize that you have a problem.
And that should be a national.
That's a national issue. But we as Liberians that are on the outside of leadership do recognize that there is a problem. So leadership will have to recognize that there is a problem and put systems in place to solve this problem, so it doesn't become an acceptable behavior in society, to make it a norm.
So this requires political will, accepting, and then putting measures in place. You also need a political will, because over time, what we've heard from two of our past leaders, Ellen Johnson said she described corruption in 3 different ways. At the end, she said she could not defeat it. George Weah came and said, well, we are all interrelated, so it's difficult for us to fight corruption. So, for example, if Mapu did something somewhere, and then Matthias is in charge of that institution, given the relationship between Mapu and I, there's no way I'm going to take action against Mapu, because we are interrelated. We cannot defeat corruption. Where do we hit the nail on the head by employing political will in fighting against these ills that you've outlined? These are really things that everyone is aware of in the society, but political will is missing. Our people think that we are related. They see their approaches towards corruption is different. We don't know what Bouaka is going to bring. So how do we nail it?
Well, it starts from the head. Because if you are at the top and you can't hold your people accountable for their actions, then you have failed the will and the power of the Liberian people. Because if you cannot instill justice or discipline within your core, within your leadership, then there is a problem. So you wouldn't be able to the fact that you cannot do that within your household. As a mom and a dad, we discipline our children. So our actions represents what we do, and that's what our children emulates. So if you're doing wrong, if you have children, sometimes it would tell you, so, oh, my dad, that's what my dad does, or that's what my mom does. So if you're in such a hierarchy, if you're in that, on that level, in that position, you should be able to hold yourself accountable first, and your people who work for you accountable.
So these failures that we've witnessed over time is as a result of the leaders themselves failing to hold themselves accountable, thus holding their subordinates accountable.
My opinion, yes.
Let's look at the issue of teenage pregnancy. You mentioned a couple of things: teenage pregnancy, single motherhood, high school dropout girls and boys, and the increase in substance abuse. Would we ever be able to tackle them? Now we have a new person appointed at the LDA. Mr. Abraham Nkrumah, he was the 102 two times under the Studies Administration. Now he's at the Drug Enforcement Agency. Well, is the agency sufficient to even tackle drugs? But as a society generally, how do we tackle these things? Let's deal with them, step by step. Teenage pregnancy, for example. As a mother, as a social worker, as a psychologist, what is causing this, the increase of this?
Well, when I went back and did some research, mainly on Liberia, and the numbers were very astounding. Liberia has a very high rate of teenage pregnancy. And I was looking now, it said 3 out of 10 female in Liberia gets pregnant before the age of 18.
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. 5% of adolescent girls get pregnant with their first child. So imagine that, 5%, 3 out of 10. That's a significant number. And so we have to work. Our ladies, our females, our young girls, they're critical to the success of this society. Right. And so if we cannot protect them, then we have major issues on our hands. And so it will be challenging, but it can definitely be done. It has to be a collaborative effort. That is, we have to have the parents, we have to have the children, we have to have the government, we have to have different entities, even if we have to partner with international organizations to help us combat the rate of teenage pregnancies. Yeah. And so we can implement such things as sexual education in schools. We can teach reproductive health, information to students. We can also provide support system and programs for our daughters and our females. And teenage pregnancy is one of the highest drop-off rate in our educational system. Because the way our system is structured, when you get pregnant, you cannot go to school.
Right.
So you definitely will have to stay home. So now you're losing a mind. Not only are you losing a person, but you're also losing a mind that would have been great to serve our country in the future. So then we have to empower them economically. We have to be able to develop community outreach programs and teach, family plannings like we have them here. Introduce them so that our parents and the schools and our children can be well educated. We also have to address mental health issues. Because although we have the teenage pregnancy going on, but I think we have something within our society. We frown on mental health. We don't want to accept that when there's something wrong. People believe that when you say mental health, it means you're crazy. There are a lot of mental health situations that is recognized on the spectrum. That doesn't make you crazy. You got depression, anxiety, and all of that. So when you get pregnant, you go through that phase of it. So that needs to be addressed. And as I stated, we get the parents involved. We get government policies put in place, where we'll be able to protect the females that we have in this country here. And we have to involve our youth in the decision-making process of these things. Because you see, people take ownership of what they belong to.
Right.
So if you don't take ownership of what it is, you won't be able to be a part of the process. Because if I say I take ownership of teenage pregnancy, I'm going to reach out there. Definitely, it's a passion. I'm a part of the process. I'm a part of the decision-making process of it. So we'll be able to move forward. So I think it's a collaborative effort. We can work together as a team to be able to make this work.
Okay, so Matano just come in.
Right.
Say, Mapu, welcome.
Thank you.
I sat quietly and listened to the conversation, but I thought it wise to come in. I want to know when it comes to teenage pregnancy, what role a parent, you are a parent, and what role does a parent or parents play in controlling that?
Well, our society is structured in a way, I think, where we don't start the initial process of our girls' children as to, what's going to happen to your body. So basically, we have to be able to discuss with our children their body. They need to understand
From the beginning.
From the
when
beginning,
they reach adolescence stage.
exactly what your body is, what your body goes through, what you do that would lead to teenage pregnancy, what you shouldn't do so that you don't find yourself in that place. But we also need to build the self-esteem of our females here so that they can be strong and empowered and know that they have a better future in front of them. And that pregnancy will be able to take away.
So that means that the parents play the first role in the life of the girl children.
Yes.
Okay, Matthias.
One thing that is also rising, as Julius asked the question about who should first of all engage this issue of teenage pregnancy. One thing that's increasing here, says Mapu, is that the issue of single motherhood. Most of these young girls, they get pregnant while in high school. The boys that impregnate them continue going to school. Sometimes the boy's parent will insist that he's not seen associating with that girl anymore. That girl continues to go through the pregnancy while he continues going to school. She's still down there in 6th grade, while he's somewhere in the 9th grade. Before she gives birth, he's in the 10th grade. Before the child works, he's about to graduate. Before she goes back to school, he's graduating from university. Incompatibility then sings. Then a single mother is created somewhere.
Yeah.
Do we need to employ an octopus methodology in ensuring that we tackle this issue from different angles? Because just teenage pregnancy is one aspect. She will give birth eventually, but the father is not in her life. She's single.
Yes.
She's going through the pain. She wakes up in the morning. She's the only father and the mother in that child's life. Family members are giving her talks. Friends are even bullying her. The boy is nowhere around. Somewhere when he succeeds, somewhere in the future, he comes back for his child. And they sit down on a table to discuss. What can we do?
Well, I think one of the things that we haven't recognized is that there is a danger involved in single parenthood. It takes two to tangle. It also takes two to raise a child. And so you're depriving a child of another, the half.
That goes to the parents of the boy that says, do not
Exactly.
associate with that girl that you've impregnated.
Exactly.
Right.
And also a child needs a father. If you look at the homes and you look at some of the statistics that come out, like in the US, you find a lot of males in the prison compound, and they tell you many of them are from single parenthood. It's quite difficult if it's a male for a single mom to be able to raise them. I'm one of them, and so I understand what it takes. However, it has to be a joint effort. Parents need to understand that it is not, a female does not get up and just impregnate herself. Your son played a major role in that aspect. Your son needs to be held accountable to that girl and that child. He chose at that moment to be a man.
Right.
He has to step up as a man and take up his responsibility.
He doesn't work. He's still a school-going kid, like the young girl.
Yeah.
So at that time, how do the family maintain his presence in that child's in the young girl's life without him thinking that he's already a husband that should shoulder to the responsibility of a woman?
Well, both parents from both ends will have to play a major role in making sure that the two that are going to have children and understand the implications of what they did. Also understand what is required to get that working. Not to stand in the way. Don't it's your son, it's your daughter. And society also needs to come up with system. I remember years back they used to have evening schools classes, if I'm correct,
right.
When you're pregnant, that you would go, your education would not stop. So maybe as a society, while we are fighting to combat teenage pregnancy, we need to put some of these systems back in place,
that the girl can stay in
that the
school.
girl stays in school because they used to call it, I think, evening or night
evening school. Night
exactly
school. Yeah, I went to night school anyway.
Yeah, stay there so she can further her education while she goes through the process. And both parents need to make sure that whether the son is working or not, he has a moral obligation to that child, even if he's not financially responsible. Children in general wouldn't, money is an issue, yes, but the connection that you built with your child helps them to develop mentally, sound, physically, to be a better person in society. You don't want them to be by themselves, not knowing that you don't have, a dad, and move into society. So we have a major problem that needs to be addressed.
That's right. And folks, you're listening to Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We're privileged to have with us diaspora Liberian, says Mapu Tene Koli Nangbe. She's returned from the US. She's here. She's been here for a couple of days now. Attended the inaugural program. She's a psychologist by profession. I just, coined it all and say a social worker. Earlier when I asked when we were dealing with the first, segment of the interview, you touched the issue of gender equality. And on the third one that we have here, which is the last, is that we are asking a question about how are Liberian women stepping out to compete with their male counterparts? What's missing? So that will take you back to the first issue you addressed about things that have become norms, and you talk about gender equality. Are women themselves stepping up to the plate to ensure that they compete with their male counterparts? If they are or they are not, what is missing?
I think we've come a long way as women in the world and in Liberia. We have a lot of Liberian entrepreneurs here, business women. And I looked at an article from Daily Observer that came out, I think, in 2022. And he was saying that some of the challenges that women face within Liberia here, in order, to get the businesses going, the loan process, going to have your application done, and someone wants, part of the loan that is being given to you,
right.
Infrastructure, finding a better and a suitable place. So there's a lot that we've done. We are educated, like you were saying. With me, I haven't. I did psychology, but I haven't gone into the aspect of practicing. But I've worked in mental health for many years.
Yeah, you talk about 20 years. Yeah, I mean, that's a long time.
And I've also worked in the financial sector as well with H&R Black as a tax analyst. So we have doctors, we have nurses, we have women branching up, we have advocates, women doing legal reforms and all of that. So we've come a long way, but the work is not over yet, because gender equality is still there. Our pay rate, when you look at the statistics, it tells you that men get more paid than women, and
even though they do the same jobs.
Yeah.
Is that happening here in Liberia?
Well,
take for example, you have a deputy minister here, a female, a deputy minister at our entity, with the harmonization that the previous administration employed. According to them, instituted, said that this is about balancing the equation, that a deputy minister at finance, a deputy minister at gender should earn the same amount regardless of the gender. Okay. All right. So if that's something to go by, then it means that there's a balance in it. But one thing that I need you to address is the issue of, when we talk about gender equality, is there any simplistic explanation you can provide for someone out there to understand that? Is it any time, because most time we talk about gender equality, they say, oh yeah, the men and the women, they want power too. Most time that's how a layman out there will interpret it. What is the simplistic way to explain gender equality in a way that someone wouldn't think that women are just fighting for dominance?
I understand you. The same issue comes in quite a few of the groups that I kind of sit with to talk.
Right.
Because the notion is that when you talk about gender, like you say, woman wants the rights, woman wants to wear the pants, and they want to be there. Gender equality has nothing to do with women wanting to be equal with men. We're not equals. When God made us, we made, it came from the sides. We're all made differently. And so the most that I can say, or how I can simplify it, is we're just asking you. This is a man's war. So gender is, this is a man's word. Gender is defined by society. And so because you have defined society, we're just saying to you, if we're doing the same work that you're doing, I think it's fair for us to have the same pay that you're doing.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yes. And so if we're going to work and you're going to work, when you come back, I think the least that you can do is to try to help us at home. Because
this gender thing goes domestic.
It does.
Julia, there you go. You're getting married next month. When you come back, please. By the time you go, from this station, you go home, even 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, help madam with the dishes.
Exactly.
Well, I started a long time.
There you go.
I started it. So, and one good thing is that my best man is someone who works a lot. Whenever I go to Kakata, I see Daga. Sometimes his wife, Jatu will sit down and see Daga will be cooking. The last time I went there, I was cooking gravy. Yeah, so that's something I'm learning. I've been learning this since I was born.
He's learning from his sister.
But it's good. It's good. But mommy, it's good for the men to help the woman. Sometimes you see guys and posting on Facebook, cooking and they washing, and people say, "What the guy doing it for?" The guy is doing it to tell you that he can help his wife at home.
Right.
Sometimes people question, but I mean, it's good to do.
So one argument, one thing before you just sum up. I mean, here maybe we can talk about take five persons on the line.
Yeah.
Is that when this gender parity bill was introduced in Liberia, a lot of people thought that these women are seeking for 30 seats in both houses or in governance, right? In both the Senate and so. So the 30% seat they were seeking, many people thought the interpretation was that the women want a walk in the park. They do not want to work for it. But as time went on, we start to understand that this is basically saying that encourage women participation more. If, for example, you have a political party, you can choose a female as a vice stand-up bearer or your running mate. Also, give them more opportunities, give them tax so that they can fulfill in those areas that they themselves can feel the impact. Because the same way Mapu took her time to go and do, now she's a doctoral candidate, trying to becoming industrial psychologist and so on. That's a tough process.
It is.
It's a very tough process. Writing dissertation is not something easy to ensure that you become a doctor. If she can go through that, I mean, she should be able to fight through as well. So why seek for 30% when you can fight it? You fought in the classroom. You graduated. Magna cum laude. A lot of you people are coming out like that. Why seek for 30%? What's your understanding of that?
Well, I think, like I say, gender is defined by society. And sometimes we define that in our homes as well, where you say, oh, the male has, his role is to do this, and the female has her role to cook and to clean. He is just there to study. He's not to do domestic work. And so things are changing now in our society.
Right.
We're saying that females are doing the very work that males are doing.
Right.
In the US, females are driving trucks. They're doing construction work. They're engineers. They're doing the very same thing that men are doing. And so if we're doing those things again, why should there be a difference in how we're treated? And I think having a female in an organization creates a balance, because you have issues will be addressed from different perspective, because you put your issues on the table and you can sit down and have a dialogue about what it is, to be able to come up with some decisions and that would be beneficial to where you are or where you want to go. So gender, it is how we looked at it or how we want to incorporate it into our daily lives. But females, women around the world, women in Liberia, as you're saying, asking for seats in the Senate, yes. If you've worked for it, then you earned it.
You earn it. So lastly, what do you stand with this position of some other females, considering that they're beautiful, they have natural endowments. They can use those and get to wherever they want to get to. Ignoring qualification and seeking to sort of display beauty and get what they want. What do you say to a young girl who is thinking about employing such a mentality to survive by it?
Well, I would say to you, your mind is the greatest success that you would ever have. Your mind can take you further than your beauty, because you could lose it somewhere, somehow. So if you're going somewhere and say, God forbid, and you find yourself into an accident or something happens and your beauty is gone, what's going to happen to you? You've lost what you're looking for. But if you develop your mind, it takes you further than where you would be. Your beauty, there may be some limitations to how far it would take you, but your mind is not limited. It wouldn't limit you as you continue to learn. So I would say to you, go to school, learn, develop your mind, be the best and perfect person that you can ever be as a female, and go out there, and you will definitely, it will be tough. You will have your struggles, but you will get to where you need to get.
That's right, Julius. Let's engage the public quickly and see if we can close up on this. We really wanted to have an hour conversation, but this is really fruitful. Call us on those numbers: 0777 777 107, 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. Let's talk to a few persons.
So let's take the last minutes to talk to a few persons. The numbers are 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223. For those of you watching us on our Facebook pages and our YouTube channels as well out of the country, you want to participate, the WhatsApp number is +231 777 221 223. So while we wait for the callers, maybe say have some questions to ask.
You attended the inaugural program, I guess.
Yes, I did.
All right. How did you how was it? What's your takeaway?
It was okay. I want to go back home. I need to board my plane. But honestly,
it was okay. It was okay because you want to board a plane.
Well, but I mean, I can say that it was an honor. It made me proud. And it made me proud as a Liberian that Liberians fought hard to get to where they wanted to be. They stood under the sun.
And they stood under the sun for the inauguration
They
as well.
did. They did.
So
with no water,
right?
No air, to see the changes that they voted for be installed in office. And so when the oath was being administered, I had goosebumps on my skin. And I mean, this is a blessed nation. And I prayed that God would direct the footsteps of the incoming leadership to do right by our people who have chosen to set them up, to set a standard that we as Liberians and our young women and society can be able to be governed by.
While we're wrapping up already, we have 5 minutes. All right. I just want to ask you, with this wealth of experience you have, the education you are acquiring and thing, when Ellen came to power, Ellen went for the likes of Antoinette Saye, Olubankekin Akirili, people who were out of the country, empowering themselves, improving themselves daily. Would you, if you were asked to come to Liberia to serve? No, honestly, this is a personal question. I mean, we cannot have this psychologist sitting in the US working with me. I know, right?
I know.
You've done practicing.
Not a psychologist yet.
Right. Yeah,
I'm running away from that.
You're running away from it.
I'm running away from psych.
I mean, you need to come to help the country. You need to come to help. With some counseling. You worked in the mental health sector for 20 years. That's a very long time. Would you come to help your country if you were asked?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I do know that for me to make a decision when it comes to every job I've had in my life, it has always been led by the directions of God.
Okay.
And so that is something that I've never, the jobs that I've had, I've put out applications looking, but the ones that I wanted, I never got. I was always led by God in different directions. So I've stayed longer at where I was led. So to your question, I would have to pray about it, but I don't think anyone is looking at me.
You don't think anyone looking at you? Why you don't think so?
We're looking at you. We just
you could be recommended to the president.
I would think about it, but I'm not looking. I will think about it.
Let's close up.
Are you thinking in that direction?
Honestly,
she said she will think.
No,
she will think about it. Yeah, she's not giving it a thought yet.
All right,
but let's close up with a sector that you've impacted greatly, because whether you did mentor, you did mentorship or all of that, I can say that you were under the umbrella of education.
Yes,
because to counsel someone, you are sort of finding the faults and trying to find the positive and replacing them with the negatives in the person's mind and so on. That's my understanding of it. So what do you think, if you were to be asked to recommend to the incoming education minister, what are areas in our education sector you see loopholes that you think need to be covered?
You're going to get me in trouble, but I'm going to say this. One of the things that I've actually looked at, I just had this discussion about a few days ago, is the way the academic year is structured. When I was here, I knew that I went to school from March to April. And so summer, well, not really summer, vacations, when you have them, you want to have them at a time where you want to have a lot of fun. You don't want rain, you don't want different things. So I'm baffled, as to the change in the system. Now, I may be wrong, but I think the change might have come about based on the system that is within the U.S., giving people here who have the opportunity to go to school abroad to fit within the system. But then my question is, our summer over there, it starts from June to August or September. It's hot. You get to move around and you get to do things. The time you've set for vacations for students here, it's rainy and they can't do much. But my question is, with that, how many people within the society of Liberia can afford to send their children abroad, that you would base a change, if it is based on that? Again, like I say, I may be wrong. If it is based on that, how many of the people in this society can afford to send their children abroad?
So is it basically, your observation, is it basically about the structure?
That's just one of it.
Okay, so Matthias, let's talk to this caller quickly before we can go.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Brother Harrison, and we're calling from 15th Street.
Let's hear you, Harrison.
Yes, I would like to take this time to give many thanks to our studio guests for the topic on discussion this morning.
Thank you.
My brother, some of the things that really affecting this our current children these days is that particular gender equality words that they don't really understand. So it affects most of them. A particular word, they take it to be a word. Some of them having a mind, and even they and the men are in a home, they should have the full control over the men. And then if the men having to make any contribution that they cannot even be able to appreciate the men, the respect should be given to the men.
Okay, so that's your point. Thank you very much. We can wrap it up quickly.
I mean, for him, he's talking about, he sounds like a real, marital issue and a real African man, who's yet to navigate through Western and African cultures. But yeah, let's close up, madam. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. It was a pleasure having you and thing. What would you recommend to the regime, the Boakers regime, as you leave? What's your area? In every societal issues, anyone you ask, they have their heartbeat. That if I were to tackle an issue today, I would focus here. If you ask me today, I'll tell you that the pollution of our airwaves in Liberia by some journalists who transition from professional journalism to political commentary, and today they are polluting the air with, they're misinforming the public. I would say that that's my major concern. That's my problem that I think that should be tackled with. What's your problem? What's your issue? What is that particular issue in the society that you want this regime to tackle hands-on as it's beginning work?
I would say to the incoming leadership, in order for you to have a country, you must have people. And for you to have people, they must be healthy, they must be fit, they must be sound. And so I would say to them, I know people have touched on a couple of different things, but healthcare and education is significant to the productivity of Liberia, to the success of Liberia. Because if you don't have healthy people, who are you going to govern? Absolutely. If you don't have educated people, who's going to lead? So yes, I do know there are other areas that we have, major things to do with securities and other things, but health, education. I prayed that when we are able to start with that sector, then we'll be able to move on to get our nation to where it is. Because we need to remember, the people that we want to lead are the people that we have to keep safe, are the people that we have to educate, are the people that we have to keep healthy.
Right. Thank you so much. She's Madam Mapu Tene Koli Nangbe. She holds a bachelor's in computer science and psychology, master's in industrial and organizational psychology, doctoral candidate in industrial and organizational psychology. She's a mother of two. She's worked for 20 years in the mental health sector. She's currently employed as a residential director with a nonprofit organization in the United States, working in the financial sector as a senior tax analyst for H&R Block for close to 20 years. So she's accepted in the National Honors Society of the University of Phoenix and the Worldwide Women Association head elder in Lincoln SDA Church. And this is the person we just interacted with. This is the person that should leave the United States and come back to Liberia and help to rebuild Liberia.
She needs to pray. She's going to pray.
That's our call.
She's going to
pray about it. This is the person that should come back here to help run this country. But until then, folks, that's all the time we have.
So, Mapu said, thank you very much, and thanks for this joining us. We are proud this morning.
Thank you.
Wonderful stay in Liberia.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, on that note, we'll say goodbye for the week. We'll be here next week, Monday to Thursday on Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. Julius Boki alongside Matthias Labendi presentation. Have yourselves a wonderful and a God bless day. Bye-bye.